Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with the beginning of the cover for the Fairy Magic journal. This is the lap book journal that I am actually selling, reluctantly, to be honest with you guys, but that's what I'm going to do this time. May not be selling again, I'm not sure. I really don't like the feeling, but I'm going to sell this one. So what I did off camera was I went ahead and put my signatures together. I will show you those in just a moment. And then today when I got home from work, I went ahead and took my lap book. We did this construction on camera, guys. I don't know if you remember that. It is in the playlist. So we did the construction of this lap book. Let me just show you what it looks like. Got to even it up. It's a little bit wet from all the glue because I just did this, but this is what it looks like. Looks like a box, right? It looks uneven, but it's really not. Again, it's just a little warped because it's wet. So I went ahead and covered the whole outside, and it's really hard to show you all of it because it is so wide. So I covered it with the fabric, which I had mentioned in an earlier video that I got this fabric at Walmart and I coffee dyed it, and I love what it looks like. So it doesn't have a piece of paper here because this is where the main spine is going to go. So I'm going to show you how to do a hidden spine again. I know I've done that in the past, but the last lap book style journal I did, I stitched them into the actual spine, and with all these flippity floppy things, it was really tricky. So I'm not going to do that. So I already created my hidden spine base. So I basically take the same chipboard that I build the cover with. I cut a piece that is just slightly smaller than the spine, than this spine piece. So this spine piece is 3 inches, so it is just shy of that because I don't want any inhibitions when this opens and closes. So we are in good position there. So basically what we do is we sew the signatures into this base, and then we'll glue this onto the spine. So we have this piece already ready to go. I've done this many times now, so I'm super comfortable with a hidden spine. So, but I hope that you learned something. It is now my favorite spine to do. I haven't done a lot of different kinds of variety of spines, but I love that we can do this and you don't have to, like, if you really mess this up, you haven't messed up the spine on your actual book. So, and I use, and we'll go through this, but I use Fabri-Tac and PVA glue to glue this on, and then I clip it and I leave it for a while, like for 24 hours or so, before I do anything else with the book. So, but before we get to that point, oh, and this is my paper template, so I'll show you how I measure this out. So this is only a 2 signature journal, so I'm only going to be making this template to match 2 signatures, but that will make more sense here in a little bit. But I wanted to show you the signatures. So apologetically, I want to say to I can't remember her name off the top of my head, and I'm so sorry. I should remember. We've been corresponding, but my brain fell out on the way home from work today. So we've got, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3 days of school left. So as my job for the school district. So so I really wanted to put my own vintage stuff in here, but I realized I have used all the originals. I don't have anything but copies, and because I'm selling this journal, I have to make sure I don't put anything in it that I don't have the right to put in it to sell. So I'm going to talk about what that means here in a second. So there's nothing, I guess is what I'm saying, there's nothing really authentic in here that's not a digital, because I just couldn't get around it. I don't have enough of that kind of stuff. I hope that during the summer I can start perusing some estate sales or something and see if I can find some stuff. So I haven't had a lot of success up to this point. So this is the first signature. So let me just open it up here for you to see. I've already stitched around the pages. I love what this looked like with the, this is a piece of vellum. And this is the Overgrown Garden papers. I've used them in other places in the journal, so I will link those. But it's one of those pages printed on vellum. So I just love that little, I love the way it looks. It's just so cool. And I didn't stitch every page, but I did stitch a lot of them. And then we've got another vellum page with the door. So cute. And then this is, usually I use my own vintage music paper, the original, and I don't have any originals. So, so this is a digital I purchased for another project, but it's an absolutely divine music digital. Look at that. Look at the agedness of it. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. So I'm hoping that my person that's buying it will be okay with that. So, because I want to make sure I'm honoring copyright, I don't want to get into any trouble at all. This is a piece of my original coffee dyed paper, coffee dyed acrylic ink stenciled paper. So that's the original. So I thought I would, at least I can put this original thing in here. So, and then we've got another piece of vellum. This is one of my coffee dyed papers on vellum, and the other half of there's two of these pages in each signature. So we've got that one. I like to tear the edges on some of my papers just to give it a rustic look. This is from another kit. I have not used it yet. I purchased it at the same time I purchased the My Porch prints, and I really wanted to use some of, I didn't love the entire kit, but there were certain pages I really loved. So I did stick a couple of those into each signature as well. And I'll be sure to link that. And then another one from My Porch prints. I do coffee dyed paper on the back of all my digitals because I don't want another digital or print on the back, because this is where I would put pockets, or where I would put something else that I wouldn't necessarily put on top of a page that had a print on it. So I hope that makes sense. And then this is another page, another one of the coffee dyed papers, coffee dyed mixed media stenciled papers with that gold paint. So beautiful. This is the page that if you guys watched my last video, let me grab it. This is it. These little flippy out things that not flippy out, this interactive page that I showed you in the last video, it's going to be glued on this, in this very center page. And so what will happen is the signature will get sewed in there, but this will not. So then when this opens and closes, it's going to go like that. It's going to be epic. I'm not going to put it in right now because I don't want it to get in the way when I'm putting signatures in. So I just picked the other side of this this coffee dyed paper that I didn't really, wasn't too concerned about losing, even though it's a beautiful, beautiful page. So I do have copies of all of these. I do copy them for my own use. So let's see. That's the first signature. Let me just get that out of the way, and I'll show you signature number 2. And the same thing, this other spread will go in the middle page of this other signature. So this is another one from the other kit I just mentioned, another piece of vellum from My Porch prints. 2 more of these coffee dyed music papers, or vintage music papers. Love this image so much. And then another image, another coffee dyed. I love how it goes around that girl. Isn't that so pretty? I love, love, love vellum. You guys, if you haven't played with vellum as pages in your signature, I really, really encourage you to do so, because it's epic. Another one from the kit. I didn't stitch around that one. This is another one of my original coffee dyed papers. And then that's the other side. I thought these two went really well together, so that was kind of deliberate. And then we've got another, and I liked this with this background, so that's why I chose this vellum page to go kind of next to that. The second page for the vintage music paper, another page of mixed media coffee dyed paper from my stash. This is an original again. And then this is the page that interactive page will go on. So that is that. So let's go ahead and we need to get these signatures lined up, and then we're going to start working on our hidden spine. So we don't even need the journal right now. We don't need it. So let me talk about what else I do with this though before I move on. So as you can see, it goes like this, and then it's going to meet in the middle like so, even though it's going to look all wonky right now because it's a little bit damp. But that's what it looks like from the top. And so what I do is I sew the signatures, I put the signatures in here in the hidden spine, but then there will be, and that will take up most of the space. And then I'm probably going to put some, let me see if I can move this over so you can see. I might put some like policy, like maybe use some vellum and make some policy closure kinds of things here on the front and back cover, or here. Because this will be able to do something with. I'm not sure. It can't be anything too bulky on these panels. My husband is helping me think through how I can do something on the spine or something that's very woodsy. I want to be very careful not to make this too bulky, because when you open it, how are you going to really utilize the journal? I want it to be able to be utilized. So we're thinking about just doing some mixed media work with some bark and some other things on the spine piece. But I am lacking inspiration for some reason on this. I'm not sure why. I think it's because I've been working on the fairy journals for so long and to get to this point that I'm drained out. So I need to give it a rest, and I'll come back to it, and I'm sure it will come to me. So I'm going to set that aside. So what you basically want to do is I'm going to grab some bigger paper clips here, in case you haven't really done this before, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of examine my pages to make sure that everything is lining up well. I don't worry too much about perfection, as you know, but I do look at this page. I don't want that to be so off center because it's lower than it should be. Kind of center that a little bit, just about like so. And I think everything else is probably pretty good because that was the only piece that was smaller than the rest. So then what I do, it's weird. That's okay. So I do have some uneven edges. I don't mind that, and we've got room for it. So let me just show you what I mean when I say we have room for it. So this is the spine. So when this stands up, let's say this is already in, and we put this up, there is plenty of room here before it hits this other edge. So I don't know if you guys can see that. So we've got a good, almost a half of an inch here. So I can put like ruffles or anything I want to do on the page edges like I do normally like to do. So I'm going to open that back up, and I'm going to clip it. I know I'm really chattery, you guys. I'm so ready for summer break. Like, I just can't even. I'm not sleeping well, and still dealing with a lot of physical issues, and it's like I just need a break. I just need to not have to get up in the morning. I need to be able to just sit outside with a cup of coffee and not feel like I have to rush off to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So, oh, and that's the other side of that digital. Isn't that house so cute? So that one is ready to go as far as being all lined up. And then let's do the same with this one. I don't think there are any smallish pages in here. I think they're all pretty much the same. Yeah. So normally, another thing that I normally do in my journals is I do envelope. Like I do envelope inserts, and I didn't do any envelope inserts. We might do that with some of this. I might even do one on the front cover and make this be like a flippy floppy envelope thing. I might do that. That sounds like fun, actually. We'll see. So let me just open this up, and I'm going to go ahead and paper clip it just so this is ready to go. And I'm going to show you my template things. So I do want to say the last time I shared this, and then I shared it on my Porch Prints group, which I totally respect them, and I never want to take away from them, but they actually have a hidden spine template. And so when somebody was commenting on some of my posts, Stephanie and or Kira piped up and said, you know, they actually have a template in their shop. So if you have never done this before and you want you don't want to have to fiddle with all of the details, you could totally pick that up and do it from what they offer in their shop. But this is what I do. So that being said, I just want to make sure I get that out of the way. So our two signatures are ready. Set them right there. So the next thing we're going to do is, we know we have 2 signatures, so we're just gonna need a signature here and a signature here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this piece of paper in half. I cut it to the exact same size as the piece that's going to get, oh, it's not the exact same size, it's too long. Cara-Renee, let me fix that. Goodness gracious, I don't know how that happened. There we go. So basically what I do is, it's the same size as this, and I'm going to fold it in half. This is kind of a stiff paper, but I don't want it to be, I want it to be solid and not just solid. I like it to be solid. So I save these and then I end up throwing them away for some reason, probably because I can't figure out what I used them for. But you could totally create a template and then use it over and over, or you can grab the ones over from my porch prints. So we do that to get the center, okay? And then we're going to fold it again, this edge into that fold. It's a little tough because this paper is kind of thick, but I'm going to do my very best here. I think this is 65-pound paper. It's a little overkill, but you wouldn't have to use something so thick. But again, perfection is not at play in the studio, so I am not worried about that. I'm having trouble only because of it's evening and I'm not the sharpest tack in the box in the evening, so I'm just going to do that so that I can see that line, and we're going to fold this one in as well. And my apologies if you've seen me do this before, but I just thought, because I had done the rabbit journal for my granddaughter, and I got so carried away with making the journal that I completely forgot to come back and show you guys how I put the signatures in. So when I started the fairy journal, I committed that I would show you guys, so that for those of you who wanted to see it, you would be able to see it. So I didn't show you the putting on of the fabric and stuff. I have other videos on the channel, as well as there's a ton of other creators that do that on YouTube. So basically what we have there is we have 3 lines. So now we know that this is our very center. This is, we're going to put our holes on these outside lines. So it's going to leave quite a gap in the middle, but that is okay, because as I've showed before, my journals get very bulky, and so that is going to allow plenty of room for expansion, because as a rule I allow 1 inch for every signature. So this one, I'm not sure why I did such a wide spine. How wide is this? Hold the fort. Hold the fort. It is a 2 3/4 inch spine, so a little bit. Well, actually, it's 3-inch spine in the actual journal. This plate is different. So now you're going to take this and fold it in half. Okay, so this is going to give us our other measurements for here, here, and here. So that's that, and then you're going to fold it. Let me ink that as I go. I like to do this because then I don't have to fuss with it. And then you're going to, so you've got that going on. Now you're going to take this one and fold it in to the center, like so. And then one more on the other end. So I'll show you what this looks like when I'm finished, in case I'm moving too fast. I know I'm a little bit far away from the camera, but I don't want to adjust it right now. I suppose I could, because I don't have the journal in view now, so let me do that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is our, boy, that's really far down. Oh no, that's wrong. So that's only 3 lines. So I do it an extra time because I don't want my first hole to be clear down here. I'm trying to figure this out. So then you're going to do it again into that, fold there. Goodness gracious. Seriously, my brain fell out of the truck on the way home. And for those of you wondering, I did pick a new car, but it's on its way to us from Canada, so it's not here yet. So hopefully another week or so and I'll have my car. We decided to go with the RAV4. In case you guys didn't hear, I was in a vehicle accident a week and a half ago or so. My car is totaled. Sad, sad, sad. So now my holes are going to go here and here, here and here, and here and here. So let's go ahead and I'm going to get my cushions out, my foam. And I didn't even get my awl out, which is silliness. The grungy foam here. Let's see if I've got an awl. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to use my pokey tool. It's nice and handy. I've got this pokey tool. I like to double up so that I don't go through to my glass. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and punch our holes in here. So I'm going to go here and here. So you may think, wow, that's a long space in between there, but I promise you, for my purposes, it is not too big of a space. So of course you could do that however you want. The idea of the template is that everything is evenly spaced to make sense. So now what we're going to do, so we don't have to poke any holes in this because, well, yes we do. We poke holes in here. Oh my goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. So we should have just done that at the beginning. Disregard. Oh my fuzziness. So I'm just laying that template exactly over that piece of chipboard that's covered with that beautiful paper. I'm going to poke my holes again because I'm a little bit off tonight. There we go. I'm so ready to be done with this journal though, you guys. Do you ever reach that point when you're creating a journal where you're just like, oh, this has been a blast, but I'm done? That's where I'm at. Because I have like a whole basket full of ephemera and I need to get this going so that I can get the stuff in. So there is this is our spine that we're going to stitch into. So now what I do is I take my first signature. Oh, this is the first signature. I don't want to get them mixed up. So this is the first signature, and I'm going to it's hard to keep them lined up. So so what I do is I take the template and I just fold one of the edges over, and I'm just going to lay it here. And you do kind of have to make sure that if your template's longer than the actual signature, to kind of move it a little bit. So I'm going to grab my pencil. Where did my pencil go? Oh my goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. Oh my goodness. I have a pile. My desk is not horrible mess, but I have a pile of stuff I've been fussing with over here. Give me a quick second, guys. There it is. So what I like to do is just make a pencil mark where my holes are going to go. So just kind of I spy in that. I'm going to put a whole pencil mark there, there, and there. Oh, that's not even online. Oh my goodness, neither of them are. Goodness gracious. Here and here. Sometimes I try to ink that inner line of the middle page just to have a better idea there. So I'm going to set that aside and do the same with this so that we can just move on to the other step smoothly. So when you do this though, you paper clip them, then everything shifts. So I've got to kind of move them back into place and put this back in place, and again do the same thing, kind of line it up so that it's even from top to bottom, because the template could be a little bit off in terms of the height. So there we go. Let's see how good I did getting it on the fold. I did pretty good. So what I like to do is I like to hold it up like this so that I get a better chance of getting this hole all the way through the folds on all the pages. So versus having it open. Sometimes I'm lazy and I do it open, but I'm going to kind of close it and just, uh-oh. Where's it going? Where is it going? There we go. An awl would work better, but I think it's in my drawer that's got so much stuff in front of it, I don't think I could get to it. Okay, so again, okay, and the third hole over here. I'm just gonna watch your fingers though. It's an owie waiting to happen. So there we go. So I got our holes there, so I'm just gonna set that aside. Do the same here. did pretty good lining those up this time. Sometimes they get really off, but I took a little bit more care. I mean, I want this person that's buying it, I want her to get the best of my work, because I'm a firm believer that you should get what you pay for. And so I'm really hoping that she's satisfied. There we go. So we are ready to sew in the 2 signatures. So again, we only have to work with this piece. We don't have to fiddle with the 6 different things that are folding out from that other piece. So I'm going to go ahead and get 2 lengths of I'm using wax thread. So I'm going to get 2 lengths because we've got 2 signatures. So I tend to go more because I like to have dangles and such. So I'm just going to go that route. And then I usually just measure this one out again. Come on, Cara-Renee. So ready to move on, you guys, to something else. This journal has been, these fairy journals have been a blast. Like, I think they've been the most enjoyable project I've done in my junk journaling journey, but I'm looking forward to something else. As I mentioned in an earlier video, I'm doing a somewhat eclectic journal for a friend, so when I start doing videos for that, I have to let her know so she doesn't watch them. But I'm looking forward to having some fun with that. So then what you do is you put this behind, and then you want to think about, I know that I wanted this one to be my first signature, so it's going to go in the first set of holes. So I'm going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch in case you didn't already figure that out. And then we're going to go in through the middle. Actually, I'm trying to think about how this is going to end up. Yeah, I have to do the first hole, the first row, before I can figure this out, and then into that first row, that first hole in the middle of the base. And then I think my holes will end up on the inside is what I'm thinking here, which is what I want. My strings, rather. And I'm sorry this is really hard to show, you guys. I'm not very talented in this regard, so let me see if I can show you what I'm doing. Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Just ends up flippity-floppity a lot, so I need to pull that more. I just like to leave a nice tail. And then we're going to go up to the top. And then I'm just going to kind of feel with my fingers if I can without poking myself and making myself bleed. Come on, there we go. And then into the top hole of the base. Pulling that through, hopefully. Oh my goodness, there we go. Okay, and then we're going to go up through the middle again on the outside. This is the way I like it because I still want my strings, because I like to do dangles. If you did it the opposite way, your strings would be on this side and they'd be glued into the spine. So I have to kind of pull this away and find the hole. Come on, where did you go? Where did you go? You don't want to pierce through your string if you can help it. Oh my goodness, where did it go? So you can kind of pull this back a little bit because we can always tighten it up again. So I'm going to go back through here and I'm just going to kind of fiddle and see if I can find that hole. It's kind of hard to describe. I usually don't have this much trouble though. Goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. It's like my fingers are not working. There we go, we got it. So now we're going to have to turn that back over and get this tightened up because we loosened everything up. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, that's the tail. That's my tail. There we go. Tail is fixed. I like to keep them. They're just about perfect. So you want to have one string on each side of the center string. So then I like to turn it over while I've got a hold of that and just make sure it's nice and tight. And then I'm going to tie it. And tie it forward once and then backwards. Reverse. Okay, like so, and like so. And so we still have a decent tail on our strings, which is what I love. So then once I have that on, I do undo these paper clips, okay, so that we have, sometimes they get stuck on that stitching, so that's what's happening there. Okay, and then I just kind of put these together. Now I'm going to pay close attention that I don't reverse this and go upside down. You guys have had that happen, I'm sure. Most people have. So I'm just gonna put a big paper clip on the top and the bottom and just hold the whole signature together like so. Okay, so that's gonna stand. And then when we glue this in, this also helps because I have large clips and I just clip them, and it just sits there, just stands up. So this is so cool. Okay, so this, now we're ready for the second signature. I know that this is going the right direction because my pages are, and on my butterfly is where I expected it to be. So second signature, I'm going to probably turn the music on for this part since you've already seen me do one, and then we'll finish off here in a moment. For some reason, I have a really hard time with this center hole. I'm not sure what's the deal. Okay. Whew. Okay. Our strings look to be about even. That was epic. And again, we've got one string on either side of the main center string, so we're going to tie that. I'm going to just check it. And you always do want to check and make sure that these are lined up with your signatures and that everything's going in the right direction. So everything looks beautiful. Okay, and then like so. I might come back and do a video where we start putting some ephemera in the journals. I haven't decided. I did say we're done making the ephemera. So I'm not gonna go on, get back on that word. So okay, come on, my stitching. Okay, so again, we're gonna clip these so that they're just kind of held in place and out of the way. Okay, and there we go. So don't worry about that. We've got some strings that are sticking out of the top. That does not matter at all. So if you look here, so we have a very wide, so we've got a little bit of growth room on these sides, but we've got a lot in the middle. Sometimes that means I can put an insert in the center, so we'll see how that goes. But for now, we're just gonna be happy with that. And so now this is ready to go in the spine. So let me get some stuff out of the way here. And what I like to do is use PVA glue and Fabri-Tac. That is coming up. Let me get a little bit of glue in here really quick. We've got a little piece of the paper sticking up here. I don't want that to come loose. There we go. I'm going to grab my big clips, if hopefully they are where I last left them, which, you know, is a crapshoot in my life because I move things all the time. Not as much as I used to, though. So we've got these huge clips. So we're going to just set those there. And I'm going to grab a brush really quick here. Okay. Ooh, that's really crusty. I need new brushes. Look at these. They're so old. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what I do is, I've got some strings here I want to get rid of. Not that it really matters. I'm not going to show. Is I like to just lather it on here really, really well. So I usually start with the PVA glue, so I'm just going to get my bottle here and I'm just going to put some on here. And I do get a lot of oozing because I I like to make sure that I have enough glue, so I'm just going to put the PVA on first, like so. Sorry, I'm off camera, guys. So intently working on this with this sore back. So I slouch. It's not a good scene. I don't feel like that's enough. It feels like I'm being too stingy with that PVA glue, so I'm going to get a little bit more. It's because my brush is hard too. It's not really working as well as if I picked a different one. So there we go. Okay, I'm going to set that brush down, and I'm going to get my Fabri-Tac. You do not have to do this. I'm a creature of habit, and so this is what I do. In every signature, this is what I do when I do a hidden spine. So I think they just behave well together, so I figure, like, if it's working, why change it? So now we're going to turn this over, and I'm going to place it down on the spine in the actual book. Probably didn't need to say that, did I? And then I'm just going to kind of move this to make sure that I've got nothing hanging up there, and I can see that we're a little bit, I'm going to move it over because we've got more room on one side than the other, so I'm just going to scooch that over, and I'm going to grab my paper towels here, and I'm just going to press really, really well. I need to get back in frame here. There we go. I'm going to press really, really well. I'm just wiping off excess glue right now, so I do have some oozing, which is okay. We want that because that means we've got enough glue. Okay, so, and then what I like to do is go, I look at the top and the bottom as well, so I'm going to go down here and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to really push and wipe away any excess glue, and I'm going to do the same at the top, even though I can't see that very well. And I'm just going to really, in fact, I'm going to get my bone folder in here, and I'm just going to really press that down. Okay, give that a chance to really grab. And the same over here. Okay. I don't know why I'm saying okay so much. I don't like it when other people do that. So I'm going to work on that, guys. I'm not sure why I'm doing that. It's not my style. There we go. So then I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to do the same in here. So I just use the end of the bone folder and just really press that down. I love this Overgrown Garden paper. I think it was perfect for the inside covers of this journal. So I'm very happy that I invested in that. Got some other seepage over here. The trouble with a hidden spine is if you did this wrong, like you put your signature, you didn't realize your signatures were upside down or something, it would be very, very hard to repair this because this glue is going to adhere, and it's probably going to pull up whatever's underneath it and make it very difficult to rectify. So that is it, you guys. So basically all I do is I just leave this. Let me show you what it looks like even before it's dried. So look at how close that is. I mean, we got a little bit of glue that's showing, but basically it is firm to that surface. So I will link the chipboard weight that I use when I do my journals, because I usually don't have boxes that are big enough to do a journal out of a recycled box, so I just use chipboard. So just in case you're curious. So that is that. So what I do then is I stand these up, and I put one clip at the top, bulldog clip, like that, and then another one here, and then I leave this standing like this for 24 to 48 hours. Probably in my time 24, because I'm not that patient, but I've never had a problem. So it's going to sit like that. It's going to get nice and set. And then in the next video, I think I will come in and we will maybe add some ephemera that we've already made into the signature. So I will see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for hanging out, even though I was kind of a spastic person today. I will see you in the next video. Blessings. Bye-bye.